In this video, I recreated all 24 tracks on the Formula 1 calendar this year on my browser. This is episode 3, and if you want to see the first 6 tracks I've made so far, they're in episode 1 and 2. This episode will be making Imola, Monaco, and Canada. To make the episode a bit shorter, but still as entertaining, I'm just gonna get straight into making the track, because explaining my plan took quite a while, and I felt like it was wasting your time. Also, I'll be linking all the tracks for you to play as well, of course. Well, without further ado, let's get straight into it. Alright, starting off, we've got the Imola Grand Prix, and this looks quite easy to make, so I'll go ahead and make that, and see you when I've finished everything, and I'll show you how I race the track. Alright, so I've finished making the track. Now I just gotta add checkpoints and walls, and then we can race it, and I'll show you how I would race this. Alright, now the track is done. Let's go ahead and test it and race it. Alright, so starting off here, we've got the straight. I've added 2 chicanes here to make it seem like there's some sort of turning here. And these 2 checkpoints are there to help you guide where you have to turn and brake. And then we have a small diagonal segment here. I did what I did for last episode with the Miami Grand Prix. Looks like I crashed there. I'll quickly go back there and we can continue racing the track. That part of the track seems a bit dangerous though, so I'm gonna try adding some walls to show that you have to brake. The rest of the track is quite simple. However, there are some sharp braking. There are some sharp braking points, so you have to be careful with that. Like here, for example, this one you have to go really slow. So that's also something to know about when racing this track. Alright, so overall, this is again on the shorter side of tracks. It's not above 1 minute, but it's also not one of the shortest, because Bahrain, for example, was only 45 seconds to beat it. Alright, now moving on to Monaco. It's considered to be one of the hardest tracks. Let's see if it's also challenging to make or if we can do this quite easily. By the looks of it, it doesn't look too hard with the stuff that's on PolyTrack, but I'll see how it goes. Alright, so that wasn't too hard to make. However, I did mess up the dimensions for this part of the track. It's too long, but overall, I think it's not that bad. I'll quickly add walls and checkpoints, and then we can go ahead and test the track. Alright, the track is complete, and now for the best part, we can go ahead and test it. Alright, so starting off here, we've got the main straight, and then this turns into a slight turn, I believe. Okay, no, it's a bit of a sharper turn. But then we've got 2 chicanes here to replicate a sort of diagonal part. And now we've got a sharp turn here. Over here, we have to slow down quite a bit because there's a very sharp U-turn. But I can't add checkpoints before that sharp turn because you can only add checkpoints to straights. That part seems quite easy, but it does make the track feel a bit longer, and the time needed to complete it also gets extended. Over here we have to slow down quite a bit as there's 2 sharp turns that lead straight into a chicane. And this part, there's a long straight and another set of 2 sharp turns. You see I crashed in there, but it's fine, I can easily recover that. Because of the amount of sharp and how much slower you have to go on this track, the overall time needed to finish it is much longer, but the track distance itself isn't that long. I feel like we can easily beat this in around 55 to 1 minute if we try more and practice, but 1 minute and 4 seconds is time I got for this one. Alright, so for the third and final track of this episode, we've got the Canadian Grand Prix, and holy, this looks like it's been made specifically to be made on PolyTrack. We can easily make this with the stuff that's available on PolyTrack because there's not too many diagonals, and we can always improvise for the diagonal parts. So I'll quickly go ahead and make this, and I'll show you what I get. Alright, so I finished the track, but I messed up this part because this straight here simply just doesn't exist. But I added it because I had no other option. It would have been too hard to create a diagonal for this track all the way up there without the last straight being way too long. So this was the only option I had. Well, I'm going to quickly add checkpoints and walls and we can go ahead and test it. This looks complete, so let's go ahead and test it and see how long it takes to finish the track. Alright, so starting off here, we've got this short straight into a sharp turn here. This part is quite easy, so let's quickly zoom right past it. There are a bunch of sharp turns though, so those are kind of challenging for the first time, but they're easy once you get used to them. Now we got a small diagonal part, not too long, but it goes straight, but it goes right into a sharp turn. That was a good save there, but that could have ended the run. I feel like that part might be a bit harder when you're playing the track for the first time, but it should be fine. Now it looks like we're already almost done with the track. This track is way shorter than I expected it to be because we already finished it within 50 seconds on the first try. With a bunch of practice, this could be around a 45-second track, which is much shorter than what all the other tracks have been. Well, that's going to be it for this one. Make sure to try out these tracks and tell me what times you got for each one and which one was your favorite. Also, make sure to like and subscribe and give me feedback in the comments on how I can make my videos better. Until then, see you in the next one.